which form of line is the written function? And so there are three forms that you know about. Y equals mx plus b. Do you remember what
Yeah.
that one's called?
Yeah.
Okay, slope-intercept, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next one is point slope. Y minus y1 equals slope x minus x1. That's point slope. And then the last one is standard form, ax plus by equals c. That's standard form. You may have to know all three of those for this.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's in mx plus b form, so it's in slope-intercept. Okay, now the next two bullet points here, they're the ones that are the most confusing
What
for students.
why is it slope intercept the line?
Mx plus b. Do you see how there's a number in front of x and there's a number
Yeah.
off to the right? That's
Yeah.
it. That's
Okay.
that's the reason.
So if the number has an x behind it, it's mx plus b.
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, that the next two bullets are kind of often confused. F of 0, this means that x is 0. X is 0. Okay. And in other words, this is the y-intercept.
Yeah.
So x is 0, you go down, boom. This right here, where it crosses the y-axis, is f of 0.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So the next one, where f of x equals 0, this is the x-intercept.
Okay.
And we'll talk about how to find them, but that's this point right here. That's f of x equals 0. These are very often switched by students, and I don't want you to be one of them. So somehow you got to remember this. I don't have a good way to tell you to remember. You've just got to somehow convince yourself one is one versus the other.
Okay.
All right, but we're going to do some examples here, so you'll see this. So the
Okay.
function. So let me just get a little more space here. So the function f of x equals 2x minus 3, and they want f of 0. This literally means that x is 0. So wherever you see an x, you're going to put 0 in. 2 times 0 minus 3. Can you simplify that for me?
2 and what?
2. Are you seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 times 0 minus 3. Can you
Okay.
simplify that for me?
That's just 1 or -1.
2 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 3 is
3.
negative 3.
Yeah, -3.
Okay. Now let's go back to our graph. When x is 0, y is negative 3. What does that correspond to on the graph?
When x is 0 and it
Yeah, what is this axis right here going up and down?
the y-axis.
So it's the y-intercept. So this minus 3 is the y-intercept.
Yeah.
So this is the y-intercept. Okay. Now, again, f of x equals 2x minus 3. But this time we want where f of x equals 0. So what we're literally saying is this f of x is going to be replaced with 0.
Okay.
Okay. And now we're going to solve for x. We're going to solve for x. So how do we do that? We did this a lot last time we met before summer. This is a two-step equation. How do you solve for x?
I kind of need a refresher on that.
Okay, so you're undoing multiplication and subtraction. And order of operations helps you to figure out which way to go because you undo them in this direction. You undo addition and subtraction before multiplication and division. So you're going to undo minus 3 by doing what?
Adding 3.
Adding 3 plus 3. So 3 equals 2x. Okay. How do you undo multiplication by 2?
Divide.
Divide by 2. Okay, so that's 3/2. All right. Now this is the x-intercept. Let's go back and look at our graph now. X-intercept. where it crosses the x-axis. So your 3/2 is about 1.5. Do you see that's between the 1 and the
Yeah.
2? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so last part of this is identify the rate of change. The rate of change means slope.
Okay.
Slope. So what is the slope in this equation up here?
I am not really sure.
What's the number in front of x?
2.
That's the slope.
Oh, okay.
The slope is the number in front of x. What math class are you taking this year?
Algebra.
Algebra 1?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're already doing this. Okay. Remind me where you go to school again?
CAFOOT.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so let's look at another function. Let's say I give you a function like this. F of x equals 4x minus 2. Okay. And I want you to find f of 0. Could you tell me in words what it means to find f of 0, or what you're going to do to calculate
I'm
f of
gonna
0?
just turn that into 0 and then
Turn what into 0?
just like that whole thing pretty much.
Okay,
Right?
so that's the mistake. That's the common mistake that students make. This means that x is 0. X is 0.
Okay.
So wherever you see an x, you put in the value of
So I
0.
would do yeah, I would do f of 0 equals 4x minus 2.
Yeah, but you're putting 0 in for x.
Oh, okay.
So 4 times 0.
0 minus 2.
Yeah, can you reduce that for me?
Yeah. Just negative 2.
It's negative 2. And this represents the y-intercept. The
Yeah.
y-intercept. Okay. All right. Now, the next part is what you just were trying to do for this problem. You're going to set f of x equal to 0. This means set left side or right side, depending on this, but left side to 0. So this f of x literally becomes 0. And that's what you're trying to tell me, but you can, again, like, I can't overemphasize how often students mix these up, and I don't have a solution to that. I wish I did.
After we do this, can I just like note down everything so I can?
Yeah, and if you need me to scroll up, please
Okay,
do,
no,
and
I
can do
got
that.
I got the top, but just like this too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I know that I sometimes go too fast to write down. You just tell me to stop, and we'll do that.
Okay. You want me to solve this?
Yes, solve for x, please.
Okay. I don't know if this is right, but I got x equals 1.
It's definitely not 1. It's a fraction. What did you do first to solve it?
I added 2 on each side.
Good, that's correct. So 2 equals 4x. Now, how do you undo?
Wait, I thought 4. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I do that right. Okay, yeah, I messed up doing that. Here, let me keep going on this.
Okay.
And then you divide the 4x by 4, right, on each side?
Yes. So x equals 1/2.
Yeah, 1/2.
Okay, now this is the x-intercept. This is where it crosses the x-axis.
Yeah.
All right.
So you'd plot the points on the graph and stuff.
That was just trying to give you another example of the first problem we did. So let's do a related problem. So it's the story problem, word problem here. It's number 9. Oh, and you wanted to get this down. So did you get this down? Do you need me to scroll up?
Yeah, I got this done. Yeah. Wait,
Okay.
actually, I need the y-intercept thing, kind of. Yeah. Just give me like a minute. I'll copy this down.
Sure. Just let me know when you're ready to move on.
All right. Okay, I got it all.
All right, fantastic. So we're moving on to a new question. Question 9. Question 9 is the application problem, we'll say. So it looks different, but it's really the same. Student buys songs online. Wow, that's not true. You probably don't buy any music online.
No.
The amount of money in the student's account is modeled by S of n equals minus 2n plus 30, where S of n is in dollars in the account and n is the number of songs purchased. Now, if I wrote the following, y equals minus 2x plus 30, okay, this is an equation of a line.
Okay.
All they're trying to do here to confuse you is they're making x n and y s parentheses n, or s sub n. Okay, so they rewrite it, but it's still an equation of a line.
Okay.
So x is the input, x is always the input, okay, and y is always the output, but we're not using those letters in this problem. We're using n and s of n.
Okay.
And you have to be able to make that mapping.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what does n stand for? And they always tell it to you in the problem.
Number of songs purchased.
Yeah, so we would label that here.
Yeah.
Maybe write it. I don't really know what's supposed to go here. And number of songs purchased. Okay. The output is s parentheses n, or s of n. Again, they tell you that it's dollars in the account. So that's s parentheses n. Sometimes they want you to label the units on there.
All right.
Things like that. Any questions on what we just did so far?
No, that's clear.
Okay, let me see if they actually ask you to graph it. Wow, they ask a lot of questions. Okay. All right. In this equation, or we can even look at this one here, minus 2x plus 30. What is the slope? And what is the b value?
-2.
-2. Yep. And what's the b value?
30.
30. So you start at the b value when you graph. You always start there. So
Okay.
let's just call that 30. Okay.
Okay.
And the slope means it's going down to right 1, down to right 1, down to right 1, and so on.
Okay.
Okay. But maybe we don't know where to graph this. Maybe we do. So we're going to do the same thing that we did in the previous problem. Okay. We're going to take this function right here. Let me grab it again. And we're going to first find s parentheses 0. And that means that n is 0. N takes on the value of 0.
Okay.
So that's -2 times 0 plus 30. Can you calculate
So
that? for me?
it's like the same thing, right? But just with
Yes.
n instead.
Yes, it's
Okay.
exactly the same. That's the point.
Okay.
Yeah, they try to confuse you, but it's really the same thing.
Yeah. So it's just 30.
It's just 30, and we already found that. It's like,
Yeah.
that's the y-intercept. Now,
So
the next thing,
yeah, so y-intercept's like easier to find than
yeah,
x-intercept for sure.
exactly. Well
Yeah.
said. Yeah. So now the next thing, okay, is they want you to figure out where s of n equals 0. So this is where you put 0 in for s of n on the
Yeah.
left-hand side. And you have to solve.
Yeah, can I solve that?
Yes.
All right, sounds good. You would do negative 30 on each side, right?
Yes.
Okay. Would it be n equals negative 28?
The -2 and the n here, they're multiplying each other because they're squeezed together. So like when you see a number and a letter squeezed together, they're multiplying. So you undo that with division.
Oh, I see. So instead of like dividing, because it's
No, you are dividing.
subtraction.
You are dividing.
I mean adding.
Yes. And I can see why you might do that, because you're like, hey, you said if it's negative, I add. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, that's what I
But
did.
not when they're squeezed together. Math's full of exceptions.
So usually it's just like not even like addition and whatchamacallit, right?
It depends on the
Subtraction.
problem. I mean, there's 4 types of two-step equations that you can
How
see.
how do you see if it's squeezed together or not? Like what do you mean?
There's no operator net between the 2 and the n. Okay, so like what I'm trying to explain to you is that let me do it this way. 2 plus n, there's an operator between them. 2n, there's not.
Oh, okay, I get it now.
So here we're multiplying, previous one we're adding. Okay, but you should get n equals 15. That is your x-intercept, but it's really your n-intercept because you're using n, not x. And you might want to get that down, but there it is, 15 comma 0. Boom, there's your line.
Yeah. And when you have the how it's like together, the 2 and the n, how do you
Yes,
know if it's multiplication or division?
here's division.
Okay.
Little fraction bar gives it away. Okay. Now this is very important when you're graphing. Do not let your line go past the axes.
Okay.
And the reason is you can't go negative in either direction. Like you don't have negative songs. That's why I can't go past the 30, and you don't have negative money.
Okay.
Okay, now these classes, this class you're taking, they just love this question about find and interpret. Find and interpret. Have you?
Yeah, that's a lot of the things.
Yes.
So
Okay.
when I talk about it, what would I like? How would I interpret? I guess.
I'm gonna help you with that. So let's just find it first, which means write it. Rate of change means slope.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so what is the slope of this?
-2.
Okay, so you somehow want to say slope is -2. Okay.
Yeah.
The next thing you need are the units. Okay, the units of y over the units of x. Okay, and this isn't that complicated. We just have to go back and figure out, well, what is y? Y is the dollars in the
On
account.
the account, yeah.
So it's dollars. N is the number of songs. Okay, so -2 means it's -$2 per song.
Okay.
Now we don't,
So you just kind of break it down in word form and just,
yeah, there's a little bit more we can do,
okay.
but yeah, I like the way you said that. And we don't, I mean, we don't buy music by the song anymore. At least I don't. You don't probably
Yeah,
either.
you just get
But
Spotify premium.
yeah, right. But that's what this is saying. It's basically saying every song, and that's what the instructor is looking for. Every song costs $2.
Yeah.
They're looking for a sentence where you like convey that you understand what
What's
is going.
happening?
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's what the word interpret means. Interpret means to write a sentence.
I see.
Okay, so part E here says to evaluate S parentheses 12. S of n is -2n plus 30. So whenever you see this number in parentheses, that's what's going in for n. That's the value of n.
Yeah.
Can you calculate that for me, please?
Yep. Wait, there's no zero, so then you just,
That's okay. Whatever is in parentheses goes in for n.
okay, so you just do minus, well, like -2 plus 30.
No, you're multiplying.
Oh, because of the
It,
n,
it
right?
goes in for n. It's substituted in for n. Yes.
So, oh, so you're doing -2 times 12
Yes.
plus 30. Okay. It's a -24 plus 30, right?
Yes. 6. Okay, now we got to interpret. This is the harder part. N is 12. S of n, well, let me do it this way. S of 12 is 6. 12 represents n. N is the number of songs. So how many songs did they buy?
12.
12 songs. 6 is the dollars remaining in their account. Can you write a sentence, or just for now verbally say, you have to include these two numbers? It usually goes like after blank, then blank.
She was left over with like that much money or that many songs.
Yes, after purchasing 12 songs, $6 remain in the account.
Yeah.
You said you like Spotify?
Oh yeah, that's what I listen to music on.
I'm a Pandora guy. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. Dude, I forgot that even exists.
Okay.
I had no clue people still use that.
Yeah.
So my grandma uses.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to something else here. See how we see what we can do a little bit more
All right.
for this. Okay, so I'm on question 10. I know we didn't do all the questions parts on there, but let's hit the high value stuff so that you can, do the best you can. I assume you have a test tomorrow.
No.
Oh no, you have some more time?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, domain and range of the function. Okay. Do you remember what this function is called? The name given to this one that's got this shape?
Quadral.
Quadratic.
Yeah.
Quadratic.
I knew what it was, but like I didn't.
Sometimes it's called U-shaped. It can
So
open. Go ahead.
I kind of know, I already know pretty well, I'm pretty sure how to get domain and range, but I need to learn how to like put it in set notation
Yes.
because I can like say if it's some, none, or all, but I need to learn how to like put it to like in that like, yeah.
Good. I actually didn't even see
Well,
it at first glance. Okay. So the domain in words for a quadratic is always all real numbers or all numbers. Okay.
yeah.
Now, in terms of set builder notation, this is what you always have. You always have this open curly brace. Okay. And they're hard to draw, but you can figure that out. And then you always write X for domain. Then you write this vertical line, which means such that. So there's actually math classes where you write, you convert this to words or the words to this, such that X, and then this means element, this little E, this is a Greek letter.
And this is always like the same, right? Like,
Yes,
okay.
yes, okay.
Okay.
And then you're done. Because
Oh,
there's no
okay.
restrictions. We'll see that in the range. But you
Okay.
gotta get comfortable writing this. Yeah, I mean, you don't always use set builder notation. It's kind of like
That's what, yeah, that's just what we're kind of doing right now.
yeah. So you got to do it
Yeah.
for this class. Now, the range is very similar. It's y such that y is an element of the real numbers, but now we put a comma because we have a restriction.
Okay.
And range, I didn't even get to this, but domain is left to right. Okay. Range is min to max. Some people prefer like bottom to top. Okay, but what's the smallest y value?
0 and 1.
Which one's the y value though?
Oh, 1.
1. So y is greater than or equal to 1. So there's always some sort of an inequality in the restriction part. So this part after the comma is the restriction part, like y greater than or equal to 1, y less than or equal to 1, so on.
Okay. Okay.
All right, let's look at the next problem. B. Okay, this one's a little bit odd. It's a horizontal line. It's a horizontal line through 2. Y is always 2 along this line here. And that's how I read it. That's how I remember it. Y is always 2. Okay.
Okay.
But X can be anything. X can go, you can go as far left and as far right as you want. That's what the instructor is trying to show you here. They're trying to show you that, okay, X could be 0, X could be 5, it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be -5, it could be +10. X can change, but Y is always 2. Y is always 2. So let's actually do the range first this time. So it's Y such that Y is an element of the real numbers, comma, and now this is the restriction. The restriction is that Y is always 2.
And
The
in this,
only-
you have to find the slope, right? You can't.
No, we're not. We'll deal with that in a moment.
Okay.
We'll deal with that in a moment. Just domain and range.
Okay.
And if you use the words I'm saying, it will help you to remember it because Y is always 2 means Y equals 2.
Okay.
Your domain, again, always starts out the same. X such that X is an element of the real numbers. You have to use X and Y. Okay. But the question is, well, is there any restrictions or is there any values that X cannot be?
No.
No. So we're done.
Um,
There's no restrictions.
okay.
the slope of a horizontal line is always 0. Always. No,
And that's that's a horizontal line?
yes.
Yeah.
So y equals a number is always a horizontal line.
So that's just automatically 0.
Yes.
It's not as complicated when I think about it.
No, the rules are there. They help you.
Yeah, you just kind of have to like engrave it in your head.
Yeah. So let's do another one here. Let's do a vertical line this time. So here's your vertical line. It's x equals -2. And I translate that to mean x is always -2. But y can vary. Y can be 0, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be -2, it can be so on and so on.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, like at a minimum you should be able to write this part right here. And you might even just do that. Okay, I got it. So the domain this time is limited. It can only be what x value?
-2.
So you have to say that x can only be -2.
Okay.
The range, are there any restrictions on y? Are there any values that y cannot take on?
No.
No, so we're done on that.
Okay.
So if you look at these later, again, the YouTube shows you can watch this again if you want. These two problems are basically flips of each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the slope of a vertical line is undefined. Or you can say the word no slope. They're equivalent. It is not the same as 0 though.
Okay.
So undefined is probably preferred.
Do you have to write undefined anywhere? You just like can say undefined?
I'd use the word.
Okay. Okay, let me just copy this down real quick. So there's no, when you do the slope, you never like are doing numbers or anything usually?
No, usually you are, but the instructors trying to emphasize what horizontal and vertical lines, how their slopes are different.
Oh, so if it's like,
If it's
okay.
like
So
if
if
it's
it's like
like
a club, like that type of line, then it'll be like numbers and stuff.
that's right.
Okay, okay. I got it all down.
Great. Okay, question 7 is a little odd for me. You might have to give me some explanation on this if you know.
Question 7,
Yeah.
where is that? What is it about? I don't have the paper in front of me.
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
taking notes.
I'll pull it up here.
Okay.
Okay. Given a pre-image triangle ABC. So this is weird because it's the triangle, it's the region in between.
If you're not like, if you're not really sure, it's like we can skip it because I still have time and I could ask him about it tomorrow.
Well, I'm gonna make some adjustments here, but it's just odd. The language is odd.
Okay.
Pre-images are usually used in a different class called linear algebra, matrices and stuff like that. So maybe he was or she was not thinking clearly when they did this.
Yeah.
Okay. The domain is the x values. Okay, so we just X such that X element of the real numbers, okay?
Okay.
But this time we have a lot of restrictions. And this is where I'm going to ask, this is where how we're going to do part B to answer part A. I'll ask the question, what is the leftmost X value? Like, what's the leftmost X value here?
The left, oh, on both, just 4 then, right? I mean, wait, no, 0.
0. So answer
Yeah,
0.
sorry.
What is the rightmost X value?
6.
Yes. So that means X is between, those symbols mean between 0 and 6.
Yeah.
Now it can include 0 and 6. That's why it's less than or equal to, less than or equal to. So whenever you see this sort of notation, it's the word, you want to think the word between.
Okay.
Okay. Now let me grab this picture again, and then let's do this for the range.
Okay.
So for the range, again, it's the same questions, but it's slightly different wording. What is the smallest Y value?
The smallest Y value?
Yes. What is the
4.
So you're saying
Okay.
4 is the smallest Y value. You can't get any smaller than 4.
Yeah.
What about 0?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, 0.
Okay, so it could be 0.
Yeah, it's definitely 0.
What is the largest Y value or biggest?
8.
8. So this is all the numbers from 0 to 8. So your range Y such that Y is an element of the real numbers, comma, you put those two numbers and Y is in the middle. And it's always this direction. It has to be, to the left, pointing to the left, and so on.
All right.
Any questions on that?
What? So it's always pointing the arrow
There's,
to the left.
yes. That means between.
Okay. 0 Y. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm good.
Okay. Okay, so question E. It's a little bit odd, but I'll try to explain this. It says if you're only given the points A, B, and C. So literally, you're only given 0, 0,
Yeah.
0, 4,
and 6, 8.
6, 8, but you're not connecting them. You're not connecting them. You're not shading in between them. Okay. The domain this time. Okay. And this is weird because I don't know why they're doing it. It's the set that contains just the X values. So that's 0 and 6, just the X, just that.
Okay.
Now you might be wanting to ask me, why don't you put 0 in twice? You just don't include duplicate values.
Yeah.
The range is 0, 4, and 8. It's the Y values.
Mhm.
So if you're just given data points, you just write them in with commas in between. You're just making a list, basically.
Okay. Sounds, yeah.
That's actually F, but essentially the same.
Alright,
Okay, well, that does take us to the end of our lesson for tonight, Remy. So
okay, sounds good.
I appreciate you scheduling with me. I'll probably give you mom some feedback tomorrow. Just let her know that you know, if you guys want to meet more regularly, that's definitely an option. And
Yeah.
look forward to helping you this semester, the school year.
Yeah, this definitely helps for sure.
Awesome. Hope you have a good
Alright,
night.
you too.
See you. Bye.